some of us don't have and what we spend our money on. You kind of take a step back and look at what you're doing. There's some adjustments you can make, and I feel like to keep the dialogue going at all times. I mean, I know me personally, I sit around with my friends. They always talk about what they're buying and what they're going to buy, but what they're buying is more like spending, not investing. And I have another group of my friends, and we kind of talk about more what we're buying as far as securities and investments. So it's good to, spend the money that you work hard to make, but it's also important to keep it. So I want to go ahead and give a quick bio for my man Tahir Johnson over here. You guys met him earlier. He's a good brother, and I'm going to start the bio. But first off, he's a fellow Bison, so that's one. But he's a financial advisor at Morgan Stanley in their wealth management division. He basically specializes in individuals and institutions and helps them achieve their financial goals through several packages and strategies. He also works with a bunch of advisors to provide more strategic advice for individuals and other clients. He counsels them. He's active in his community. I believe, I didn't even know this, like you're an NAACP and 100 Black Men. That's dope. And now the Urban League. So that's hats off to you, man. Before he came to Morgan Stanley, he was at PNC as the branch manager. I think you're on the one on 17th Street, right?
No, I was in Bowie.
Oh, Bowie, okay, and one in Bowie, Maryland. And I don't want to give too much of his personal business, but apparently it's in here. His fiance Ashley's here. She's a classmate of mine at Howard as well. They're expecting. That's great. And in his free time, he enjoys sporting events, Wizard games. Maybe not so much right now, but he goes to church. That's good too. All right, now. Well, yeah, man. So everybody, give a round of applause for Tahir Johnson.
All right.
I'm going to get into the presentation, and we're going to make this an open forum. So if you guys have any questions, shoot them out. I'm going to have questions for you too. I'm going to probably be cold calling some of y'all if I see you. I'm joking. But all right, cool, man. Well, welcome. Thanks for coming out.
All right. Thanks for having me. All right. So Elliot gave me a good segue to start. He said he's going to cold call you guys. Like somebody mentioned in the back, the movie Wolf of Wall Street. I do a lot of cold calling as part of my job, but I'm not like him selling people crazy stuff. And of course, do we have young professionals? Do we have any doctors or medical professionals in the building? Good, because like you said, my fiance's here, we're doing day now, so we might need to rush it.
Ashley.
But like I said, thanks for that great introduction. You said everything except for the part where I discovered electricity. But yeah, like I said, like you said, what I do is I work with families, institutions to help with financial planning, helping the people to define their investment goals and implement a long-term strategy to be able to meet those goals. And I'm at Morgan Stanley. So, like Elliot said, as we're discussing anything, if there's something that you guys want to cover more in depth, feel free to reach me. And I have a bunch of information on the back about Morgan Stanley if you guys are interested. Also, something what Elliot mentioned, where he talked about our generation, how we typically don't invest. We have people that do, but another thing that I bought is a report. It's called the African American Financial Experience, which was done by Prudential, and it kind of talks about, some of the ways where, as African Americans, our experience and investment knowledge may be different than other members of the general population. So you guys can feel free to look at that if you're interested. So what I'm going to cover today are a couple of savings basics. Oh, and before I go into that, I'm going to talk about a lot of information, but one of the things that I think would be great for you guys to witness today is my friend Ione McNeil is in the building. So she's going to talk briefly about her personal experience in investing and some of the things that she's done. She's modest, she probably wouldn't say, but she's been investing since she was about 7 or 8 years old. So all of these principles that we talk about, like compounding or dollar cost averaging, she can talk about maybe some of the real life examples with that. So the first thing we want to cover is just savings basics. What are some good habits towards savings that we want to think of. And of course, we're going to talk about, I guess, what I would call investment 101. As you saw just from the questionnaire that we took in the beginning, investing can be a very broad category. You know, we probably have some people here that were finance majors. It's enough to teach a whole college course on. We're not going to go that deep. We're just going to talk about, you know, some basic principles. We'll talk about retirement planning because that's a big, major, one of most people's first, you know, initial experience with investing and where most of the investing they do takes place. We'll talk about windfalls and inheritances, what to do, and then, you know, getting help and what to do if you're ready to get started with investing today. All right. So, when we think about saving versus investing, they're very similar, but they're not quite the same. Does anybody kind of know what the difference between saving and investing might be? What the main difference between saving and investing? Anybody? All right.
Well, I mean, I don't know the technical terms, but saving in my mind is more like just like putting money away, and investing is like putting money to work.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's one is like an income generating type thing. Other one's like it's an income retention type thing.
Right. And you know, I couldn't have said it better. Investing, when you think about it, is a type of saving. Saving is putting money away for the future. But investments typically you would expect a greater return, but also a greater degree of risk involved with that. So you can think of it kind of that way. We'll talk about compounding. Albert Einstein called compounding the 8th wonder of the world, and that's pretty much talking about the principle of how you can make your money work for you. We'll talk about inflation. Of course, we see this in the news on a regular basis. This is one of the major metrics that they use to measure the economy, and we'll talk about what that means for your portfolio. Taxes and fees, historical stock and bond market performance, and then some basic golden rules of investing. So first, like I said, the main difference between savings and investing, the difference between the two is the safety of your money. So when you think about savings accounts, money markets, things like that, right about now, you know, it's very safe. Like we said, we have the FDIC that insures your money when it's in a savings account, but when you're in the stock market, there's not anything that protects you from loss. We also talked about it already too, that there's like an inverse relationship with risk versus reward. So typically the more risky an investment is, the greater opportunity that you have to gain money, but also the greater opportunity that you have to lose money as well. What comes first, saving or investing? As a general rule, what we direct people is it's important to save money first before you're going to invest money. Most people would say that you should have 6 to 9 months of whatever your living expense, your average living expense is before you start investing money. So that way,
Can you speak up a little bit?
oh, sure. All right. So as a general rule, they say that you should have 6 to 9